Space. The final frontier. The great unknown. The thing that makes you feel tiny and meaningless every time you look up at the night sky. We've been staring at it for thousands of years, sending probes into it, writing poetry about it, and still, we barely understand it. But here's the thing. The little we do understand, it's absolutely insane. And nobody talks about the weird stuff. So let's talk about the weird stuff. The sun is basically silent, and that's terrifying. You've seen videos of the sun. Big, angry, exploding ball of fire. Looks loud, right? Looks like it should sound like a million thunderstorms happening at once. Here's the thing. In space, no one can hear you scream, and no one can hear the sun either. Sound needs a medium to travel through. Air, water, solid objects. Space has none of that. It's a vacuum. So the sun, this 1.4 million kilometer wide nuclear explosion that has been burning for 4.6 billion years, makes absolutely zero sound as far as you're concerned. But here's where it gets weird. The sun is making sound. Massive, deep, thunderous vibrations ripple through its surface constantly. Scientists have actually recorded these vibrations and converted them into audio. Want to know what the sun sounds like? It sounds like a low, eerie hum, like something breathing. Something very, very large just breathing. You're welcome. Sleep well tonight. There's a planet made of diamond, and we can never have it. Somewhere around 40 light years away from Earth, that's around 378 trillion kilometers in case you were planning a road trip, there's a planet called 55 Cancri E. It orbits so close to its star that a full year on that planet lasts only 18 hours. The surface temperature is around 2,000 degrees Celsius. It rains lava. Not metaphorically, actual lava rain. And scientists believe that under all that chaos, the extreme pressure has compressed carbon into one thing: diamond. The entire core of this planet is estimated to be made of diamond. We're talking about a diamond the size of a planet, roughly twice the size of Earth. Now, think about what diamonds are worth here on Earth. Think about the engagement rings, the jewelry stores, the heist movies. And then think about the fact that there's a planet-sized chunk of it just sitting out there, completely unreachable, surrounded by lava rain, baking in the heat of a star. The universe giveth, the universe also maketh sure you can never have it. A neutron star is so dense it would kill you from miles away. Let's talk about neutron stars. A neutron star is what's left after a massive star explodes in a supernova. All that remains collapses into a ball roughly 20 kilometers across. Just 20 kilometers. For context, that's smaller than most cities. But here's the catch. That tiny 20-kilometer ball still contains more mass than our entire sun. The density is so extreme that a single teaspoon of neutron star material would weigh around 10 million tons. 1 teaspoon. You couldn't even lift the spoon. And the gravity? The gravity of a neutron star is so intense that if you got within a few hundred kilometers of one, the difference in gravitational pull between your head and your feet would stretch you like taffy. Scientists have a name for this. They call it spaghettification. That's the actual scientific term, spaghettification. Someone in a lab coat sat down, thought about a human being getting stretched into a thin strand of pasta by a dead star and said, "Yeah, that tracks. Let's go with spaghettification." Some neutron stars also spin. Fast. Really fast. Some spin 700 times per second. These are called pulsars. Just a city-sized ball of death spinning 700 times per second, shooting beams of radiation into space like a cosmic lighthouse that wants you dead. There's a cloud of alcohol floating in space. This one is for everyone who has ever looked up at the stars and thought, I could really use a drink right now. In the constellation Aquila, about 10,000 light years from Earth, there is a massive cloud of gas and dust floating in space. This cloud is about 1,000 times the diameter of our solar system. Big cloud. An analysis of this cloud has revealed that it contains ethanol. as in drinking alcohol, as in the same thing that's in beer, wine, and every bad decision you've ever made on a Friday night. The cloud contains enough ethanol to fill roughly 400 trillion pints of beer. That number is so large it has essentially no meaning. Just know that it is a lot. It is an incomprehensible amount of space alcohol. Now, before you start planning the greatest party in human history, there are a couple of small issues. First, it's 10,000 light years away. Second, it also contains a lot of other gases that would absolutely kill you. Third, even if you could get there and somehow harvest a glass of it, it would taste terrible. Space doesn't add the good stuff. But still, it's out there, floating, waiting, a cosmic bartender with no arms and no way to reach. The footprints on the moon will outlast human civilization. In 1969, Neil Armstrong stepped onto the surface of the moon and left a footprint. That footprint is still there. Right now, as you're reading this, that footprint is sitting on the moon completely undisturbed. Here's why. The moon has no atmosphere, no wind, no rain, no weather of any kind, nothing to erode or disturb anything on the surface. The only thing that could slowly wear down those footprints is micrometeorite bombardment, tiny space particles hitting the surface over millions of years. So those footprints, conservatively, they'll last around 10 million years. The Apollo astronauts left behind about 96 bags of human waste on the moon too. By the way, urine, feces, vomit bags, all of it still sitting up there, perfectly preserved. So let's put this in perspective. Human civilization as we know it is maybe 10,000 years old. The Great Pyramids are around 4,500 years old. In 10 million years, there will be essentially nothing left of anything we've ever built on this planet. Cities, monuments, all of it, gone. But on the moon, quietly preserved in the vacuum of space, will be the boot print of a man from Ohio and 96 bags of astronaut poop. That is our legacy. That is what we're leaving behind. There's a place in space where the temperature is almost absolute zero. Almost. The coldest possible temperature in the universe is absolute zero. That's minus 273.15 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, all molecular movement stops completely. Nothing moves. It is the physical definition of nothing happening. Scientists have actually gotten extremely close to absolute zero in labs on Earth. But in space, the natural background temperature, what we call the cosmic microwave background, is about 2.7 degrees above absolute zero. Incredibly cold. The emptiest, most remote regions of deep space sit right around there. But here's the weird part. The Boomerang Nebula, a cloud of dust and gas about 5,000 light-years away, has been measured at 1 degree above absolute zero. 1 degree. That makes it the coldest known natural place in the entire observable universe, colder than the background of deep space itself, just sitting there in the Milky Way, being the coldest thing anyone has ever found, minding its own business. For comparison, the surface of the Sun is about 5,500 degrees Celsius. The Boomerang Nebula is 1 degree above the coldest possible thing. Both of these things exist in the same galaxy, the same neighborhood, cosmically speaking. Space does not care about consistency. You are made of dead stars, and that's not a metaphor. Here's where things get genuinely strange. Every atom heavier than hydrogen in your body, the carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, iron, calcium in your bones, was not made on Earth. It was not made in our solar system. It was forged inside stars that lived and died billions of years before our sun even existed. When a massive star reaches the end of its life, it explodes in a supernova and blasts all those heavy elements out into space. That material drifts around, collects into clouds. Those clouds collapse under gravity and eventually form new stars and planets, including ours, including you. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your teeth, the oxygen you're breathing right now, all of it was cooked up inside a star that exploded before the Earth existed. You are, in a very literal and scientifically accurate sense, made of dead stars. The universe used exploding stars to build the molecules that eventually became you. Which means the next time someone tells you that you're nothing special, you can look them in the eye and tell them you are the recycled remnants of a stellar explosion billions of years old. And that's not poetry, that's just chemistry. The observable universe has more stars than grains of sand on Earth. Last one, and this one is specifically designed to make you stare at the ceiling tonight. The Earth has a lot of sand. Beaches, deserts, ocean floors, all of it. Scientists have actually estimated the total number of grains of sand on Earth. The number is approximately 7.5 quintillion. That's a 7 followed by 18 zeros. A massive, almost unimaginable number. The observable universe, just the part we can see, not everything that exists, contains an estimated 2 trillion galaxies. Each galaxy contains on average 100 to 400 billion stars. When you do the math, the total number of stars in the observable universe comes out to somewhere around 10 septillion. That's a 10 followed by 24 zeros. More stars in the observable universe than grains of sand on every beach and desert on Earth, by a factor of about 1,000. And remember, that's only the observable universe, the part we can see. The rest of it, the parts beyond our ability to detect, could be infinite. So next time you're at the beach, pick up a handful of sand. Really look at it. Count maybe 20 grains sitting in your palm. Now imagine that for every single one of those grains, there are 1,000 stars out there, each one potentially with planets. Some of those planets potentially with something on them, looking up asking the same questions you're asking right now. We're either completely alone in all of that, or we're not. Both answers are terrifying. Space is weird, and we've barely started. If you enjoyed this, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps. Thanks for watching.